And it's Ken Kreitzer at the Marketing Idea Exchange here in New York City at the New York Athletic Club tonight, actually. And I have a chance to talk with one of our speakers today, and that is Rachel Glasser, who is with Group M. And we were talking a little bit about this expanding world of digital advertising and how companies have to keep track of the multiple devices that are in people's homes. Tell us a little bit about just how did this field work as far as being able to track all the different devices that people may have between their laptops and their phones and what they may use for work?
It's actually a very complicated space, being able to track between all of the different devices that users handle in one day. And the number of devices that users actually have personally continues to increase. So back in the day, you might have just had one computer for a whole home, where now you have multiple computers in a home, you have TV set-top boxes, you have multiple cellular devices per person. People even have more than one computer, maybe a work laptop, a personal laptop at home. And the trick is really, how do you continue the consumer experience across all of those devices, and how do you keep the experience personal, and how do you link those devices together? And it's extremely challenging to do in a data-oriented space while keeping consumer privacy and user experience in mind. So it's really a balancing act between the two.
Absolutely, and you talked a little bit about some of the objectives for advertisers in reaching their markets and the benefits of targeting, but not overdoing and not over advertising to customers. What are some of the key objectives that you work with your clients on when they're looking at digital campaigns?
Sure. So obviously we want to do the best job that we can for our clients. So some of the key objectives is understanding what their goals are and what their end game really is for a specific campaign or initiative. And in doing that, once we understand what their goal is, we can think about all of the different medias where we can place all the different media where we can place their ads and really make their strategy come alive. And we'll do that based on, again, what their goals are, what a certain website demographic might be, what a demographic might be for a certain television program or radio broadcast programming. And we'll do that both for branding, content, and also advertising is moving a lot towards storytelling, and not just having one ad, but having a series of ads that actually tell a story and really get the user involved and really integrate with the user. So the challenge is really being able to tell the story across the different platforms and across the different channels while keeping that advertiser goal in mind and the consumer experience in mind.
And you mentioned in your remarks about a lot of companies, a lot of things that could be done, but you don't necessarily want to do everything that's possible, and showing good judgment is so important today. What are some of the aspects of protecting privacy that you feel are very important?
I think it's extremely important to respect the consumer when it comes to collecting their data and really trying to be privacy compliant and be respectful of that. Just because you can, I think this is what you were alluding to, just because you can collect data doesn't mean you should. You should really only collect what you need. And I think at the end of the day, you really always need to think about the consumer experience and maybe put yourself in the consumer's shoes and think about how they might feel or react if they see something that could be overly intrusive, or something linked that they might find to be overly intrusive, whether it's rewards points from your bank or a credit card linked to a consumer-facing e-commerce website. Things like that can start to feel a little creepy. So you just want to be careful about connecting these things and making sure the consumer has had ample notice and is clear about how their information is going to be used.
Absolutely. And Rachel, maybe you tell us a little bit about your company, Group M, which I understand is the largest media buying company of its type in the world. That's great.
That is correct. Group M is the #1 media investment company in the world. We help clients plan their digital strategies, and even for more traditional media like broadcast television, broadcast radio, print placements, digital placements, and we were able to work across all those different mediums to find the best strategy for our clients.
And Rachel, I'm sure people would just be interested in what were some of the stepping stones in your career, because you're now an expert in one of the most important facets of business today, digital advertising.
I've had actually a very interesting path where I went to undergrad with a politics degree, and I worked in print trade publications when I first graduated, if that's dating myself. And then I moved from print publications into a small digital marketing agency. And then I moved over to the Group M family, where I went to law school part-time at night and worked full-time during the day. And that is how I started to get involved in digital privacy. And here I am today at Group M.
That's great. How important is it to have a legal background in this field?
It's not necessary, but it's extremely helpful. I would say about 95% of the people I talk to on a daily basis are lawyers, and it is sometimes a very different language to understand. It's also extremely helpful to have the background to understand why certain things might be an issue or why you can or cannot proceed in a certain way. So it's extremely helpful.
That's neat. Rachel Glasser, great to have you here. Enjoyed hearing your remarks today at the Marketing Idea Exchange.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here.
Certainly. This is Ken Kreitzer for CBSI Services in New York City at the Marketing Idea Exchange.